Which brings us to UNLV spring practice, the open scrimmage on Saturday. Dan Mullen told us after the practice, they didn't really scheme up a whole lot of stuff. They just wanted to have guys go out there, play, run basic plays, and just see how they execute, see how they go to the ball. One thing he did not like was the pace of the practice offense. He thought everything's got to go a lot faster, but, he understands it because it was the first time they'd used the comms. So they got to get better at that. Give me your basic read on what these quarterbacks, the two guys who are in as transfers, give me the basic read on who they are, because I think it's going to – I'm just going to let you say it. Alex Orji from Michigan, Anthony Calandria from Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like what Matt Never was telling us in the first hour. Alex Orji, he's got a very big build. He's a very – I'm not going to say he's, Cam Newton 2.0. But his game in Michigan was he's a big body quarterback, 6'3", 235 pounds. He was getting a lot of criticism back at Michigan last year because, Michigan seemed like they struggled in the passing game. I wouldn't put that all on Orji. I'd put that on, the just overall offensive system over there.
Yeah, when he played, he was mostly kind of gimmicky run stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't rightly or wrong, or correct, right or wrong. He wasn't given an opportunity to do anything much beyond the run plays. Calandria, what do you know about him?
Calandria, just that he, like Matt was saying as well, he's very good at making something out of nothing. When the plays break it down, he can get out of the pocket, he can run around, he can get the ball where it needs to go. So I don't think he's a bad option either. I think the fact that this quarterback group, you have both of what's the current quarterback structure for college and pros, which is everyone's looking now for. Obviously, you got to be able to throw the ball, but you also, having that running ability, a big plus. Having the physicality of an Orji, big plus. Having the ability of a Calandria to be able to move out of the pocket and play a little of that backyard football, get you out of tight situations when the offense needs it. So I think both guys really good prospects for this year. It'll be interesting to see what Dan Mullen will want to do with either guy, if depending on who wins the position.
What I saw was, more often than not, whether this is his style here or he's making a concerted effort, Orji was on schedule, got everything out pretty quickly, and if he didn't, he got sacked. And he didn't scramble a whole lot. So I think he's making an effort to, be disciplined. I'm going to throw the ball. I'm not going to look to run early. Calandria was a little more off schedule, and he could run. He busted off a couple of really long runs. But he made plays. But I think that can be problematic if you're not running the offense. Now, it's very early on. I think both guys are going to be really good options. I'll give you some general reads from Saturday. The offense got out to a better start than the defense. The defense caught up and was much better in the second half, middle of the game, and wasn't really a game, but you get my point. Receivers, they have some reliable receivers. Like Caden McGee looked really good. He's a sophomore, known as a speed guy, great hands. Some of the other guys got to catch the ball. So there were a lot of plays made by tight ends. They were reliable, but there were some drops out there, and that, there's not much margin for error in college football. You can't have, 4, 5, 6 drops. So that has to get better. And I think they have they got some big guys at receiver, the high point guys in Troy O'Meara and Jaden Bradley. They can be deep threats. I think they've got a real sweet spot with the receivers who are, 6'2" to 5'11". They've got a couple of really good speed guys. D'Angelo Irvin's only about 5'8", but he's gonna be a return guy. He looked good at times. Dede Reynolds, who's in from Pittsburgh, he needs a little more time to get completely healthy. He had the non-contact on, so he wasn't out there. But receiving core looks pretty good. Offensive line is still a work in progress, and I don't mean it's bad. I mean, they're trying to, let's figure out who we have, because remember that it's a new O-line coach. So Vance Weiss did not stick around. Ricky Logo stuck around to coach the defensive line. Dale Alexander knows what he had and what he has now with the holdovers, and then the new guys, he's learning them. He's the wide receiver coach. He stayed around. And Akeem Davis in the defensive backfield. But he's got a lot of new guys at defensive back. And we put out a bunch of videos, if you haven't seen them, with Akeem talking about, and this is all up on our YouTube page at Cofield Company. We want you to go up there and subscribe and like, and That's where we're going to put all the UNLV video related stuff. He's still kind of learning that defensive backfield, and maybe I'll have some time in a little bit to get to that. But the O-line, I think they're really trying to give everyone a fair chance. And I think they're going to have incredible depth at guard. It'll be interesting to see if there's some guys that can kick out the tackle from guard. The left tackle situation right now is interesting. I'm going to mispronounce his last name, but James Femina, who's in from Houston, he looks the part. He's 6'6", 290, long arms. He was out there. Dylan Drummond is getting a real look, and Drummond was one of the Odom Vice recruits. He's probably 6'4", 300, a little bit shorter. He's not 6'6", 6'7". He's getting a look at left tackle. Ed Haynes is really cool, a local from Liberty. He's bided his time. He's not a massive dude, but you can see he's got real good mobility. He's 6'4", 290. He's playing out there. Will Thomas is a holdover. We'll see where Will slots in, if he's going to be a special teams offensive lineman or really has a chance to start at right tackle. And then I have a feeling they could be looking for a little more tackle depth in the portal, but we'll see. But their guards are going to be really good because Austin Boyd has played a bunch early on for UNLV. He's not a behemoth, again, around 6'4", 300. The two guys they brought in to play guard potentially are Donovan Manson, who's 6'3" and probably 300. He's from Coastal Carolina. I'm doing this all off the top of my head, so if I get some of the schools wrong. Malik McGowan, like that guy has the look. Like, why he was at Power 4. He was at North Carolina. He's every bit of 6'5", pushing 6'6", and like 335 pounds. He is a monster, and I think he's going to be one of the guards. But right now on the right side, they got a nice young combo that they're working on with Austin Boyd, number 79, and then Ed Haynes, number 71, at right guard and right tackle. And as you can attest to, you played a lot more defensive line. In college, you played at Utah and Cal Poly, and you got a little cup of coffee here with UNLV and JUCO. Mm-hmm. The O-line is so much more about continuity.
Yes. And
each pairing has to kind of work together, and like rotating in one or two during the season, minus injuries, having like a 7-man rotation is one thing, but you kind of have to, you really want it to be kind of set at some point pretty far before the regular season.
Yeah, 100%. That entire offensive line crew, they really rely on each other. The guards are relying on the tackles. Everyone's relying on the center for communication. Everyone needs to be on the same page, know what the other guy is strong at, what he's weak at. It's kind of just like my message to her about the entire, getting too excited, getting too worked up over what's going on right now in spring ball, because it's not just offensive line, it's just the offense entirely. Yeah. Offense it's all based off timing. Everyone needs the reps, everyone needs the timing. So don't get too excited about what you're seeing out there, who you're seeing taking reps. Same thing with defense. Don't get excited, don't get down about what you see out there with them, because defense, it's hard to put out there without being, the physical and the speed, the physicality and the speed of an actual game.
When you did scrimmages, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did they have to tell you, or was it kind of inferred, like, we're going to scrimmage here and we want you to tackle, but as a defense, don't destroy the offense and some of the tackles. Don't treat them like it's a regular opponent, which I think, is that the case?
It was more of a, be physical with the offensive line when you're going against them. But when it comes to wrapping up and tackling quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, very, very
be smart.
Be smart. Yeah.
Because, like, I thought the run game looked good at times, but I feel like the defense in any of these scrimmages is at an unfair advantage. You can't level.
Oh, yeah.
You really can't level the freaking running backs. And the running backs look good. They have a nice mix of running backs. But yeah, good work in progress. They're much bigger than they've been ever. And I am completely fascinated by the defensive line. Can't wait to see who emerges, who are going to be the rush ends. I think they're going to play kind of what they played a lot of the last couple of years, and that was a 4-2-5. I think they have great linebackers, but they get a lot more size on the outside, and then they can rotate a bunch on the inside. These are good times, man. UNLV football has some good numbers here, and I think they're going to pull some more out of the portal.